Hey, welcome back to the Women Talk Construction podcast. Today's guest is someone who is making big waves in heavy civil and industrial operations. Kait Burd is the owner, operator, and superintendent of Iron Lady and Co. From navigating the highs and lows of the field, she's also creating platforms like SheGrooms. Kait is dedicated to bringing unprecedented exposure and experience to female peers in heavy equipment operation. Today, we're talking about the realities of the come up, rebuilding, bridging women to the forefront of the field. And Angela and I absolutely love that.
Yes.
Because it's where our heart's at. So
Yes.
welcome, Kait. And Angela Gardner's here, my co-host. And Kait, thank you for being here. And let's just dive in and talk about some of the great things that you're doing right now.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about tell us a little bit about you, because everybody can read all your information on our website.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll start with just recently. It's kind of like a rebirth, I guess. I mean, I've come into my own as an operator through leadership. There was a long time there where I felt, I got promoted as a foreman and I felt like I didn't belong. I tried to demote myself a few times because I felt like I wasn't being successful. And now I'm finally accepting the fact that, I deserve to be here. I've earned my stripes. I've cut my teeth, as they say. Moved companies, and now I'm with another small company out of Wisconsin and was promoted to a superintendent. In the background, have my own company, Iron Lady and Co. And the idea was just kind of some punny clothing. Got my shirt, but it's turned into something bigger than that. And I've been able to sponsor an event that's near and dear to my heart, which myself and 4 other women Allison Mariner and Oregon put together, and then the remaining 4 of us help organize. And we just actually had that 2 weeks ago. So that was an excellent event. And we're in our 4th year and really looking forward to our 5th year for that. And it's gotten bigger and bigger every year. Through that, I've been able to sponsor Iron Lady just a little bit of money. And, for a mixer and just kind of be a relatable face. It's cool to be my little company name on a banner with all these huge sponsors that give us so much, and we're super appreciative for them. But yeah, I just think that it's important to be relatable. People always ask me, oh, you must have had somebody that you looked up to coming in and, through your process. And I can't say that I have. I mean, I've had peers, but I've never had that hierarchy difference of a female leadership. And it actually took me a long time to see the difference of my gender in the field, because I trained myself to think that I was one of the boys for a long time. And it was that thought process that was kind of hindering me in a sense. So I had to adjust. I guess you could say I'm a little bit of maybe late to the party when it came to just accepting the facts, accepting my femininity, which the people who know me is funny, because I'm a tomboy through and through. I am, I like to get dirty, kind of butch, let's call it what it is. I would play hockey, play golf. I like to be athletic, and, if there's an opportunity to do hard work or be, inside, I'd probably rather be outside doing the hard work. So that's been a new age kind of part of this rebirth with me, is accepting the fact that I'm female, accepting my femininity, and trying to find the best way to portray that so people can relate.
We love it. And Christi and I can certainly relate to the fact that we are probably the hardest on ourselves before we understand that we are, and we are doing great things, and we can, we can be there just as much as anyone else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, what organization or event are you referring to that is going into its 5th year?
Just so SheGrooms. I'm sorry. SheGrooms is what it's called, and it started as a women's grooming camp to try to just get hands-on skills, and it's ventured out into, and this is for the ski industry, but it's ventured into lift maintenance and snowmaking and welding, and through just through my experience and some of the people that I met out in Oregon, we had CAT out there. So we get women to touch the yellow iron, as we call it, for the very first time. And it's crazy because you never expect people to be that stoked on it. But if I recall, my come up like never really got, it was always just that exposure and touching a piece of equipment that's larger than a car, because that's all we're used to, right? You might drive a car, you might drive a lawnmower. You don't generally feel like the equipment space is for you, so you don't even venture into it. So just the actual hands-on stuff has been really, oh my God.
It's great. Yeah. Well, I can definitely understand that because every time anyone mentions that, at Christy's eyes twinkle.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can definitely relate to the fact that I'm just gonna throw this out there. I had the same mentality you do. As
Sorry,
far
guys.
as
My computer just locked on me.
Oh no, it was great. Nothing happened, so it was
Okay,
good.
good.
I just want to share that, one of the things that I think is important to note is that you are recognizing that you would rather be outside working than inside in the office, like at a young age. I definitely was like you. Like I didn't want to there's still not a whole lot of girl things that I love. As far as like, I have a lot of girlfriends that love to go shopping and, talk about things that I have no interest in, but I try to like find that space to be comfortable there. But it's been hard, in 36 years being in the field. I absolutely loved it. But I just want to say this, like there's a time in your life that, coming into yourself is great, but there's also a time when you get a little bit older that you realize you can't be outside doing all that hard work anymore. And that's where I'm at. So what I've had to shift with in the last 7 years is use the knowledge that I've gained over all these years and help others in a way that looks different than being outside, being that example, right? And working. And that's a hard transition to make. So you're going to make more than one. I'm just going to throw that out there because this one's been hard for me, like getting out of the field completely and just, in the background, figuring out ways to make things better for our industry. And, personally, it's been a challenge, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm coming into myself again in a different kind of mode. So thank you for sharing that. I think it's really important for women to understand that it's okay, right? To just be different. We are different. If you love the industry and you love iron and you love, being out in the field in the mud and getting dirty, there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to find your space, right? Like that it's where you're comfortable. I think that's important. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely. You too.
Yeah, it's important. Well, okay, I'll kick us off with the first question. So, Kait, you talk about the come up and the realities of working as an operator and a superintendent. As a woman managing a job site, what are the biggest shifting dynamics you see on the field projects today regarding leadership and respect?
It's the evolution is great. Being an operator, the respect level is kind of competence based, performance based. You could be working in a group setting, cut and fill with a lot of other people. You're comparing yourself. You're like, my thought process was, as long as I'm not as bad as the worst guy, if I can put myself middle of the field, and then if I was middle of the field, then I started looking at the best guy. I always just wanted to make sure that I wasn't a liability. And then as soon as I was secure, I'd start to achieve more and try to be better that way. And I think I was really self-aware in that way. As you go higher, no, everybody's going to have a different opinion of how you should run your work and run your job. And then the minute you make a poor decision, it's because your age, it's because of this, I would say that the gender differences have been more apparent as I've come up. I was always in denial about whatever. I'm going to be the girl that they respect, So I don't try to live and die on that hill, but it has been a bit of a tough pill to swallow that I have to accept that I'm different. And I have to accept that not everybody's going to accept that I'm different. And then it's basically that's really just the hard truth of it. We can cry, kick and scream all we want that people don't respect us. But at the end of the day, it's not going to be fixed by the end of the day. So you got to
Right.
figure out how you like navigate that. And through that navigation, respect comes
Yes.
through like the putting in the paces and like standing your ground. And yeah, there's definitely a line where you shouldn't have to stand your ground any further. But one thing that I've known, and I think it's just consistency. I know, like, we obviously know we have emotions, and we might be more emotional than the guy sitting next to us, and I recognize that. So when I'm leading or giving direction, I noticed that I had to be as consistent as I possibly could to regulate like my emotions. So when I fluctuated one way or another, people knew I was like, it was for good reason. I've had to change my personality at work. It's pretty much polar opposite than the way I am outside of work. Just being cut and dry, kind of monotone. And I get it a lot that I'm like, I'm abrasive. And I'm like, this is me being direct. I have to take it's going to come through cutting like a knife because I'm not putting the fluff on it because I don't want you to think I'm flirting with you or, you know,
there's that, right?
you know, I'm not putting any sass on it because I don't want you to think I'm bitchy. You know, I'm just telling you, like, I'm just telling you. So I've noticed that like with consistency, the respect has come because then my people aren't on edge thinking like, oh, what version of Kait are we going to get today? And then this is a good, kind of a good example is when I was a foreman at this job in Oregon, and I walked in, I kind of was invited to the foreman's meeting late to the party. So these guys already had their seats all around the table. Well, I got there early, first one, and I sat in that seat for like a month straight. So when I was late or whatever, somebody was in my seat, you know, there wasn't even really an ask. Yeah, of course there was heckling. I would come in and I'd run my mouth and, you know, it'd be kind of funny, but they knew that was my seat. And like, so the respect was there because I was there consistently. And, you know, I spoke at the table and I made sure that I had a seat at that table instead of standing in the background because I want people to know when it comes to my work, I'm serious about it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, this is a perfect time for me to ask you about navigating setbacks, right? Like everything we do in every role, not just your role, we have to navigate setbacks. And that looks like falling, failing, possibly, and rebuilding as well. So tell us how do you navigate that, and where has your new leadership strategy placed you in being able to navigate that?
Yeah, the setbacks are key to the advancement. It's just not letting them drown you. And I've definitely been in that drowning. And that's where I would say
we've all been there.
Yeah, it's just the treading water and the job or whatever. And that's where those times where I tried to demote myself because I felt like such a failure. And the responsibility is multifaceted. You know, I always carry some of the responsibility, probably too much of the responsibility or the accountability for it. But like reaching out to the people who owe it to you for feedback and criticism to tell you how to proceed. And sometimes you're not going to get that at the companies that you're at. You might not get the criticism, the feedback, the growth opportunities to put yourself in those positions to win. And after you lose so many times, you just feel like a loser. And then, you know, that whole grinding it out or, you know, sticking things out longer than you have to, at some point you have to decide when it's not working.
Right.
You know, because I guess if there's one thing that I've learned this year is like, life really is not supposed to be that hard. So if like,
sometimes we make it harder in our head, right?
Like just to prove something to ourselves.
Yes.
And, you know, I think daily the jobs are difficult, but like it shouldn't be all consuming. It shouldn't put us in this headspace where we feel like self-harm or, you know, our values depleted and stuff. And like, yeah, this year I've been rebuilding myself after like being in that place of just trying to prove it to myself or prove it to somebody else that I was worth it. And in the end, it's, you know, some of those times where we want to prove it to somebody so badly are probably some of the most unhealthy relationships that we have. And, you know, they might be good relationships. They could be healthy relationships outside of a workspace, but in a workspace, in that environment, it's just not good. So I think I answered.
Yeah, I'm going to throw this out there. Having led organizations through transitions and growth phases in my career, I've learned that operational resilience, which is exactly what you're talking about, is forged through navigating unpredictable circumstances and cycles in the market. Like, it's not necessarily, the circumstance that you wake up to every single day, right? You can wake up tomorrow and the market shifts, and the next thing you know, the personalities on your job site have changed because they're watching what's going on in the world. And it's not just about the work. So I think that's really important. Thank you for sharing that. That was awesome.
I agree 100%. And I want to go back to one comment you made about your, being consistent with your personality, how you share or how you hold emotions. I think when there's a female on a job site and we are emotional, it helps our male teammates to understand that they can be that way too. And I think that is hopefully helping our industry be more mindful about their mental health. Because that really matters a lot. And you kind of touched on that a little bit there. But anyways, looking at the future pipeline, what is the ultimate vision for Iron Lady and Company, which you have that cool shirt on, and you have many other cool shirts. Yes, let's show it off.
It says "chit" on the back, by the way. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, that's cool. I love it.
Yeah. It says "Do It Lady," so
we might have to get one
for
of
those that are watching the YouTube channel. On the back of her shirt says, what does it say?
"Do It Lady."
Yes.
It's the chit from the Chit Show.
Yeah.
So I need to make
a picture. Yeah.
So, Kait, how can regional construction networks better support grassroots initiatives that elevate women in the field? Because you have several already going. You have SheGrooms. Aren't you part of Crew Collabs as well? Maybe?
Not officially, but I rub enough elbows. So
okay, you rub elbows with them.
I mean, yeah, I don't think I'm an official
We're
ambassador.
all part of all the things, right? Because we're women in the industry, and there's only 10% of us.
we're all ambassadors, really. I mean,
Yeah.
Crew is such a good program.
It is.
So yeah, that's just there's great people involved in that, and why wouldn't you want to be a part of that?
So in all of those things that you do and that you're part of, how do you see all this continue to elevate women in the field?
I think, well, if you elevate women, we're elevating everybody. And I think it's just a matter of, we're dropping the barriers. And I know that's kind of a cliche thing to say, but it's the gatekeeping, the literal gates of information. We're dropping that, inviting people in. And by inviting people in, like, you might invite 100 people in. We might only get 20. It's just the opportunity.
Right.
I definitely don't really love the whole, like, equality, like, across the board, because not everybody wants this.
Right, exactly.
And yeah, there are limitations. There are physical limitations and stuff when it comes to certain tasks. But when it comes to heart and stuff, like, or mind, people can be utilized. Their strong suits can be applied elsewhere. Right.
Right.
So I'm more about, like, the equality of opportunity.
Exactly.
And then people can decide if they don't like it or want to be a part of it. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love that. And unfortunately, we are running out of time. So thank you, Kait, for all that you're doing for the industry, just your voice, right, is going to make a huge difference and a huge impact on all the women and young girls that are thinking about, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? So thank you for that.
Yeah.
I think Angela's going to wrap us up.
Yeah. Kait, share with our audience how they can reach out to you and get in touch with you to find out more about Iron Lady and those awesome t-shirts or any of these other great organizations that you're supporting. How can they reach out and find you?
I have Facebook. My Facebook is just my name, Kait Burds. Also, I have a Facebook for Iron Lady and Co. And Iron Lady and Co. basically stands for me and the company that I keep. And the message there is the success that you seek is bred by the company you keep. So I'm a product of the support system that I've had my entire life. So on Instagram, there's myself. I just basically operate off of the Iron Katie page, which is at Iron, or not Iron Katie, Iron Lady page. So Iron Lady _co. Also, I run the SheGrooms Instagram account. So if you're interested in the ski industry at all or come into our camp, reach out to the SheGrooms page, and we've been adding people to ladies to a chat. I think we've got like 102 women now on a chat across like the world, and it's a little quiet in the summertime, but it pops off.
We
in the
gotta get part of that, Christi.
Come on.
We will.
Very cool.
It's there's that, and then also LinkedIn. Been a little bit more active on LinkedIn and dabbling in the TikTok, but hopefully have a website for Iron Lady & Co. Up this summer with some new shirts, and can actually start selling some stuff. And then I'm also like trying to get myself out there as an operator, to like, not for hire, but I'd like to help train operators.
Nice.
Help either bridge training gaps on the job, or just fill operator gaps while somebody else does the training, or say somebody broke a leg or something like that. It'd be cool. I'd love to get on an X Games one day to run snowcat or something like that, or maybe even the Olympics.
Cool.
It's a tough field, there's a lot of great operators out there.
Wow.
Well, and you're doing it very well. You are making it look easy. And thank you again, Kait, for being on today. We appreciate you.
Yeah, we definitely know that you can do that. And, by the way, everybody, we met Kait at CONEXPO.
Yes.
So if you want to meet some really cool people,
go
to the next CONEXPO, because you will meet them.
Can we put up a women in construction tent, and we'll just
That's
what we should do. Absolutely.
Come on.
We'll have to talk to Pedro about that.
Pedro would like it, I have a feeling.
That'd be great.
Yeah, we might I'll tag Pedro in this as well. But
that's a good idea.
But if you want to find out more about Kait, check out our website. You will see all these links that she's mentioning.
Yeah.
Kait, thank you so much for coming and sharing your raw and real perspective. Your leadership as a superintendent and a business owner, you are a business owner, is paving the way for so many women, and young women at that, who belong in this role as an operator seat, in that seat. Listeners, check out Iron Lady & Company in our show notes. Until next time, keep building and growing.
Thank you,
ladies. Appreciate you.